Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/TrueOffMyChest, where OP got the best gift he could have received. Let's begin. I found out my wife was keeping in touch with an old booty call. Posted by Reddit user MyAudi2You.
So here it goes. I recently found out that my wife has kept in touch with a booty call buddy that she had from way before we had met. We are now 6+ years together, married, and have a 2-year-old. She had an old phone that she kept for some reason, and I found it in a drawer while doing some spring cleaning and was curious. I found texts and pictures going years back, including them trying to make plans to hook up, because apparently they only did the Hershey Highway, and that's something I'm not into. She even sent this piece of shit pictures of our daughter, which really infuriated me. I confronted her and she has gotten defensive and said it was just texts, and that I need to get past this if our marriage is going to work. The one thing in my favor is this guy lives 9 hours away from where we used to live. I honestly feel lost and don't know what to do. I'm torn between staying and trying to reconcile this for the sake of our daughter, because I would never want her to have to grow up without us altogether. On the other hand, I'm thinking fuck that. Why would you stay in touch with this dirtbag in the first place, especially when you're in a marriage and have a child? The house we live is mine from before our marriage, and have been told I can have her trespass from here if I do file for divorce and petition the courts. Any advice? Update. So I got this test from my wife this morning. Men who are deeply unhappy in life often display these 10 behaviors without realizing it. You're clearly unhappy and you need to figure out what will make you happy again, but you're not going to bring us down with you. I responded with a link to an article on betrayal trauma. She then proceeded to go off on me via text. You're not innocent in this relationship. You don't get to play the victim card. This whole relationship and marriage is traumatic day in and day out. My body could care less about what your needs are. It's constantly in fight or flight. I've birthed a human, you have not. I have anxiety thinking about said human 24/7. You're no longer relevant in my thought process. You can manage, feed yourself, clean the house, leave, etc. I don't have the opportunity ever to give a shot about my own traumatic experiences I've endured, your betrayal from the get-go, lying, watching porn, your daily weed intake, etc. All that has been traumatic in my outlook towards you since day one. I made an error communicating with past friends, and you decoded to go snooping, looking for something that made you mad. I wasn't hiding anything. I have friends and communicate with people. Sure, the conversations became inappropriate, but I cut it off and didn't engage. Can you say the same about your past endeavors? I guess I'll never know because you walk around here all day every day in isolation and secrecy. I don't know the half of the shit you do day in and day out, so I'm not gonna buy into your poor me bullshit. You don't like your life, leave. You're not happy, fix it, but I'm not gonna settle for it anymore. Daughter deserves better and I'm working on it every day and you're not helping. Go get your own help, go get friends. Be a normal human. Me, well, I saw all the attempts to meet up while we were down there visiting family, so it seems like there was more to it. Even telling him he should move to Seattle so you could go up there to have your one-night stand fantasy, as you called it. So what if I had friends with benefits? They are not involved in my life now, nor have they been other than via random messages here and there, and it stayed there. They don't know where I live, what I look like, it's all past tense, and if you can't move on, then we can't move on and I'm done. Texting and doing are two different things. Remember how I felt about your friendship with XYZ? Well, you forgot to include your hangout sessions physically where you smoked weed together. That's secrecy and physically engaging in contact with that person. I never once did that. I'm not gonna live my life in a jail cell or prison, because it sure as hell feels like I do at the moment, and I'm about to post bail and go in witness protection with daughter. I would never tolerate this kind of bullshit from anyone. I don't care how rich, poor, hot, or ugly. I'm done. If you are done, we can call it quits really quick. I'm not dragging this shit on anymore. Get a fucking life. You are weak, miserable, and lack normalcy. Get help. It's not my job to help you. Maybe you shouldn't give me a reason to want to be put of this bullshit hostage situation. Maybe you should do some inner work and figure out where the fuck you're going wrong. Go fuck a stripper for all I care. Not that it's any of your business, but he's been with his chick for 3 years and they are saving themselves for marriage. Talk about discipline. Text messages aren't shit when there's loyalty and you commit to someone and do the right thing. Do we as humans make mistakes? We sure do. He's learned from his past of a divorce due to his issues, and now he's moved on and learned. And so have I. I never crossed that line and you know it. So fuck off if you don't have anything else to say. You've been just as despicable and disrespectful to me, the mother of your child, so fucking own it or take a hike. I have history with the two people you read about. I've known one since I was 17 or 18. The other I knew since 2007 when I was going to DVC. There have been many years of no contact in between. Yes, it was dumb to keep engaging in the inappropriate conversations, but at the same time, maybe it felt nice to have some flirty fun conversation, knowing nothing would come from it. Like a good juicy book that keeps you on your toes at the end of it all, there's nothing to it but a cliffhanger, and I know my boundaries. I gave up everything I've worked for and knew and loved and wanted for my life to move here to be with you, and someday I ask myself why. Was it worth it? For what? You don't sacrifice shit for me, it's a one-way street. You cook and pay bills and clean, okay, I can do that too. What else you got? Sorry, it's a lot of reading, but I'm just not sure what to make of it and could use some advice.
That is a long message filled with more bibble-babble bullshit rather than any sense. There is also a lot of gaslighting there, OP. You clearly married an evil woman, and I'm afraid that you won't be able to see your kid much after the divorce. But don't waste any more time on this. The next communications needs to go through your lawyer. She's a liar, a cheater, and is only mad because you caught her. Stop talking to her, OP, and just start divorcing. Also, you don't know how long she's been cheating or with how many people. Better get yourself an STD test. And regarding your child, if that kid was supposed to be yours, you should seriously consider a DNA test. And finally, make sure everyone knows what she did before she starts lying about you. You know deep down that she's gonna do it sooner or later. And now for today's second story. My wife is dead. The best Christmas present I could have gotten. Posted by Reddit user Training Noise 9549.
My wife is dead. The best Christmas present I could have gotten. At the beginning of the year, I caught my wife having an affair with one of her exes. Our marriage wasn't perfect. I was not the perfect husband, I will admit, but I did my best. I put effort into the entire 5 years we were together. I put my all into the relationship. But I could not say the same. I was forced to confront the reality of who she truly was shortly after I caught her. She illegally evicted me from our shared home, lied to the police to try and get me arrested, tried to get me fired from my job, and tried to turn all of my friends against me. Some of these succeeded, while others did not. She has made my life a living hell since the day I asked her for the divorce, and has planted her heels into the ground over our separation to try and drain all my finances and emotional strength from me. The only upside is we had no kids for her to use as weapons, but I soon found out that her policy of strict birth control with me did not extend to her suitor as he got her pregnant 5 months ago. I thought maybe this would help speed up the divorce, but it only rallied her in her efforts to destroy me. On Christmas Eve, my wife and her suitor went to a party where both of them got drunk. I find this fact terrible as all her friends knew she was pregnant as well. Her suitor drove them home, a mistake that would cost them both their lives. In the state I live in, our divorce is now considered to never have even started. I will be able to claim her life insurance policy for myself and move back into my home. Her parents called me up distraught yesterday, acting as if the last year had never happened, and offering their full support to my funeral preparations for her. My confusion here was beyond belief, but the apple does not fall far from the tree when it comes to my wife. I told them if they want a funeral, it was coming out of their pockets. I will pay for her to be cremated and deliver her ashes to them, and the cheapest are offered if they desire. They called me horrible and tried to guilt me about her life insurance, but after only 4 minutes on the phone with them, I hung up and blocked every one of her family's numbers. I'm going to be taking a few extra days off work to move back into my house over the next week. I've already made arrangements to have her stuff hauled off, so my home will be an empty canvas to start my life anew. I don't know if there is a God or if this was just karma, but I truly believe now that I have come out on the other side of the storm. Short update, judge me how you will. I will not argue with how my actions influence others' opinions about me. I just know that if the situation was reversed, my wife would be shopping around for a sports car with the life insurance money she collected on me. You're right, I don't like them, but they do deserve her things if they want them. I'll unblock her mom and offer to make arrangements to deliver her stuff wherever she wants. If she wants it all or only certain things, I'll eat the cost and deliver it to her. I'm already paying to have it hauled and trashed, so no point in caring where it goes. I cut those people out of my life when they turned on me, due to false accusations that I had video evidence to prove wrong. If her lies being exposed in 4K are not enough to convince them, they are nothing more than anchors to be released in the sea. I will be installing cameras at the house tomorrow. The locks have already been repinned. My divorce lawyer has already given me recommendations and I am meeting with an attorney on Wednesday. And now, for OP's full update. I have decided to elaborate on a few common threads I see in this post here, as responding to all the comments would be too much. Firstly, some are judging me for the way I am reacting to the death of 3 people. You're right, it is not normal nor is it healthy. I feel no emotions toward my ex at this moment. All my hatred, resentment, and regret evaporated when I learned of her death. I feel nothing but relief right now. This void has slowly consumed me over the past few days. I feel numb, like I'm dreaming, like what happened is not real. This woman made my life a living hell for over a year. She set out to destroy me and would not stop until she did. I do not like the fact that I feel this way over the death of 3 people, but that is not a box I feel ready to unpack at this moment. Secondly, I have reached out to my ex's mom today and things are much more civil as of now. I'll pay the hauling company to move her stuff into one of their storage units, and they can figure out the rest. Her mother revealed to me that they cannot afford to host a funeral for my ex. I am 100% the legal beneficiary of her life insurance. Despite my past hatred for her family, I told her mother I will give them a small amount from her life insurance, so they can have a service and arrange burial logistics for her. This is contingent on us cutting ties after and I will not be involved any further in her funeral. I will still be talking to a lawyer. Lastly, I am not going to elaborate any further, except the only lives lost was hers, her suitor, and their unborn child. Some are saying I should sell the house. Right now, I only want to return to my home. The details of where I end up, either there or somewhere over the rainbow, are yet to be determined. I do not know what life holds for me or for any of us. This event happened maybe for a reason, or maybe the universe has no logic at all. This gift put an end to a period of my life that sent me to the brink of destruction. It's morbid to think that the death of 3 people was what pulled me to the other side alive. It's interesting how quickly it can all change or end.
Although it was unfortunate that an unborn child was dragged into this, but I guess that's just how karma works. Make sure to block all of her scumbag friends as well. And another piece of advice, sue the affair partner's car insurance for loss of life. More Benjamins for your pain and suffering. Do it, OP. It's worth the effort. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.